I wasn't expecting company, but if you stay out of the shrubs and flower beds, you can stay.
Give them a wave, Pops, now that you've invited them in. We're two old guys who enjoy playing Sandbox and survival games together. I'm Uncle Craig. Go ahead and sit down. Let's visit for a while.
The next thing we're going to do is a cosmetic thing. Go, well, around this way. In here, we're going to come into the lockers. And I just think this doesn't look good enough for us. So we're going to change some colors. We're going to see how to do this in real game. So I used another app that I have, an image editing app, photo editing app. Pulled out some colors from an image that I had that I liked the colors of. Pulled out the colors, got the numbers for it, and we're going to save this preset here as helmet. It is the primary color, but the primary color mainly is the helmet. And in the mid-riff area, the belt area, we will paste this value, and this is going to be belt. Put in a secondary color, and that's the highlight colors here. You can't tell too much that it changed because of the overalls. And we're going to change the coveralls. This color here. This is coveralls. There we go. That's our new appearance. I like that. So let's go out and let's take a look at what we're going to do next. We are going to advance to the next level. Maybe we do that first. Come here. If you look at Tier 1, base building is the first goal, the first milestone, and we get foundations for that. Those are going to help us significantly for the next phase, which is building a power grid and expanding our production of the base components at each of the mining sites that we have. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a couple moments. So here we're going to put in the cement we have, which is not too much concrete. Do we have? We've got plates and rods. We know where we have those in plenty. Right over here. Plates in this storage. And then in this container we've got rods. We'll see how much concrete we have produced. Not enough by far. We've got a long way to go. Now this constructor can construct 15 per minute, but it's not really going to meet that level of efficiency because though it can collect 45 per minute, the drill can only produce 30 per minute. So this is not moving at the rate that it could, and even then it's going to take a while to get enough concrete. What I'd like to do, we can't put another drill here to increase our concrete production, but we could put the drill over at that limestone deposit. We're going to need a few things. We're going to want a drill, a constructor, and a storage. Now the constructor you see requires the reinforced plates. We'll go ahead and make some of those. And then we're going to need power supply. So we'll need power poles, which take more concrete. I think we'll have enough concrete. It's going to take copper wire, and then this is going to take cable. And if you looked here, the constructor is going to take cable. So first thing I want to do is we'll craft a couple of reinforced iron plates. And I think we'll do half the cable that we have. Hopefully that will be enough, but I don't think I'll have enough copper or enough wire. We'll go up on the hill up there, get some wire, and then come down and get started on this mining site. With the copper, iron rods, and iron plates that we've collected, and the construction of the cables and the reinforced plate, we can start construction here. So we've got, the one thing I forgot, the portable miner. We needed to craft a portable miner at the workshop. We need that for the drill. Now on my hotbar, we can press number 6 for the drill. I'm going to aim it in toward that hillside. Don't need a lot of room for this. Press 5 for the constructor, but if you notice, the input is facing us and the output of the drill is facing the other way. I'm going to actually hold control, which will line this up with the drill, and one click, well, it should have, but it didn't. Anyway, there we go. That's the way we want it oriented. Now it's at kind of a funny spot right there, so it's hard to get it to line up there. We'll do it that way. I'm holding control and I'm aiming toward the side of the drill, which puts it there. Press H. Let's see how it's lined up on this side. Let's back it up a little bit. Right there would be good. And left click, and it'll put some stabilizers down. Then we want storage. So I'll press 7 and storage. And again, now it's turned the wrong way. We need the input this time to be pointed toward us. There, it's pointed toward us, but I can't get the container exactly where I want. I'm going to press H. Well, if it gets down here. There, press H. I'll try to get this lined up well. It's probably toward the back. There's about right. And then I'm going to come toward myself just a little bit. There we go. Left click. Place the conveyor here. And another conveyor on this side. Now we just need power. Press 2 to get power lines. From there, put this one right here. Bring power to this area, and then power to each of the systems. Then on this constructor, we're going to set it to concrete. There we go. Now this is impure limestone as well, so it's going to produce at 30 per minute. This is 45 per minute, so again, it can't quite get to capacity with this setup. But the limestone, it's going to be tough to get exact capacity until we get some advanced items. Now our concern is power. Right now we've got pretty small operation here, but it's taking up a certain amount of power. If you go to any of these power lines, press E, it shows us a graph here. So we have maximum consumption at 61. Right now we're at 52, and it will go up to about 60 something when all of our equipment is drawing power. Things will only draw power when they are functioning, and sometimes, like you can hear off to the left there, sometimes they stop and start because they're not getting enough things at the time. So the input's not coming in fast enough for them to do anything with it, so they stall out. So that's why you see the big variance in the consumption. Full capacity is 70. And of course, if we put just a couple of machines down here, we're going to be over that 70 megawatt easily. Let me show you where it gets to 70. This biomass burner has 20 megawatts that it produces. This produces 20 megawatts. This produces 30 megawatts. So that's how you get your 70 megawatts. We are consuming biomass at a decent rate. So we're going to want some approach to providing that biomass in an efficient way, and we're going to need power for everything. So the next thing we're going to do, once we get enough concrete, I don't think we're going to have enough quite yet. Maybe we will. I'm going to go to the other site that we just built, take whatever it has produced to this point, and see if we can get to the next level, the next milestone, because that's when we get the foundations. Why is that important? We now want to set up a power grid, one that is large enough for what we have going on right now and easily extendable. So we're going to be able to take it to any level of need that we have without having to make big changes. Right now we're going to need to make big changes because we just kind of set up to get our things going. But going forward, we don't want to be doing that. Let's see. Oh, so close. We got plenty of plates and rods, but we need a bit more concrete. While the limestone miners are doing their job and the constructors for the concrete, let me show you my idea for the power grid. The area here just up the hill from our site, there's the limestone drill, the first one we put in, is this nice little sand bed. And it's nice and flat. And if we build off in that direction, we can build off pretty far. we might have to build above the ground a bit, but we can build off pretty much as far as we need to for power. So we're going to start back here. Once we get foundations, we're going to lay those down across here and start off with the production of the biomass fuel, and then we will continue from there into the actual biomass burners and how the power poles and power lines get laid out. And we'll establish a pattern and a kind of a grid, a model for extending further than that. We'll grab these leaves and wood so we have material to build or to construct the biomass fuel. Let's go down to concrete. See what we've got. Yeah, that should. Is that it? That might do it. Oh, 3 short. All right, maybe it's produced 3. Yes, we've got it. All right. We are also going to need quite a bit of concrete for all of the foundation that we're going to lay over time. It's going to take a while. That's cool. And we got a button that's going to launch something, and I'll show you what that is as soon as I click the button. I'm going to run out here and watch. We got this craft attached to our hub after we finished the last objective for the hub. It was the last upgrade for it. And when we fill it up with components, it takes those components into orbit.
Like, subscriber, get off my lawn.
And they use it up there somewhere for whatever. And so it will come back later on. If I'm paying attention at the time, we'll come and watch it land. I'm usually busy doing something when that happens. See what we have now for construction items. Logistics. Oh, let's see. Yeah, see there it docked. I wasn't even paying attention. It came back already. All right, so production. We don't have anything new there, but in organization we have this lookout tower. That will make it easier for us to see and to place things in complex builds. So we can put that down, and it's a tall tower we can climb up into. Then we have foundations. Now this is what we've been needing for the power grid. What I'm going to do, because we're going to use quite a few of those, I'm going to press the Alt key and scroll my wheel forward one, and you can see this changed to my second hotbar. Now if I mouse over each one of these and press like 1, it now fills the first position in the hotbar, and we'll do 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now I've got hotbar locations for all of those. Oh yeah, we've got walls too, but we're not interested in walls right now. We're not going to put anything up wall-wise. Now that we have those foundations, we have the ability to set down a power grid in a very efficient manner. If I press number 1, I can do the 1 meter. Ah, look at that, we need concrete. I'll go get the concrete. That'll make this easier. Now we have everything we need to build an efficient power grid, and the one that's extensible and has a good pattern. Though the 4 meter might be good if we were heading this other direction, we're going to be heading downhill. And the other thing is I can either just place it like it is now, rotate it to one of these very fine-grained positions, or I can press the control key, and you see it snap there. It's snapping to what's called the world grid, so the entire world grid. And if I place it there like that, then if I build out to on other sites and I want to connect them, it will all be lined up. So I don't have to worry about making any changes there to get them all coordinated, because that can be a pain. We'll set those down. We only need this to be 3 foundations wide all the way down. As far as we go, we only need 3 wide. We don't need to make any difference in that. There's a couple different approaches you can use for things like this. There's the load balanced approach, which always takes a bit of calculation and figuring out where to put things and how to arrange it, and the pathing with the conveyors. I'm an old guy. Okay? I just want something that's as good, or at least close to it, and it's simple, easy to maintain. So that's what we're going to do. One of the issues we had with the constructor down below constructing the material for the biomass burners is that if I had a bunch of leaves on me, I could only fit in the constructor as much as it could hold. So then I'm carrying around leaves and such. Well, I don't want to have that issue. So what we're going to do is, let's see, I'm going to hold down Alt, scroll back 1 on my mouse wheel, and I get my other hotbar back. Press 7. We're going to put a container here with the output my direction. You look, when I'm on the ground and I rotate my mouse wheel, I get a fine-grained rotation. When I'm on a grid, one of the nice things is each click goes a quarter turn. So now this is facing the way that I want it. I want it right about there. I'm going to press H as usual to make sure it's positioned just the way I want it, and it's not. I want to have the ladder right on the edge with the container kind of hanging over a little bit. And we'll press the left mouse button. We're going to do the same thing right here, and we're going to have the opening to the containers just inside that area, or that, see this, well, let me take that off. See this line right here? I'm going to have the opening of the containers be just inside that line on both of these. You can see that blue line across the front there. That means those two containers are lined up. And I'm going to press H so I can show you. See, it's positioned where I want it in the back, and it is in the front. And that line tells me it's lined up with this other container. Press the left mouse button. I'm then going to put a constructor on each one of these, and I can't remember. I think they will fit lined up. No. You see that? I'm a little too close. So I'm going to have to move these containers. Let's do that. 7. And we'll move it to the left just 1. There we go. We'll put the opening right on the line. There we go. I think they are positioned in the back where I want them. Perfect. I moved them over 1 because if I hit 5 and get the constructor, I don't have reinforced plates. So let's fix that. Press Q, special, crafting bench. Let's place it here. This is so I don't have to walk all the way down the hill for this. We're going to make some screws, and then we'll make all 5 plates. We only need 4. Now I'll press 5, get the constructor down here. Well, look at that. Now I don't have enough cable. All right. So you know, if I can do this, anybody can. There we go. Now we're blue. I'm going to hold the control key down and push it back, and now I know it's right up against that storage container. At least as close as it can be. We'll do the same here. Press 5. And hold down control, and you see the blue line across the front. I know I'm lined up with the storage container, so those are set just right. Press 3 for our conveyor belt. There we go. Now we're all set. Let me set this one to be biomass for leaves, and I'll set this one to be biomass from wood. So now I can come here, load this one up with any wood that I have, and load this one up with any leaves that I have. Now, what I'm going to want for a design now is I want both of those, which are each going to output, if you look at the recipes, each of them are going to output biomass. I want both of them to feed into one conveyor belt and to push down the line into a system then of burners. The other thing I want to do is put a container as the very next thing, storage container as the next thing, so it will fill that container up with the biomass, so that if the biomass burners are burning too slowly, the constructors don't get backed up. And if at some point the constructors slow down, there's still some biomass in here for the burners while I load up some material in there. So putting the storage containers between the constructors and the burners is going to help with that, and then the storage containers before that helps me load it up with material so that I'm not carrying it around all the time. However, we do not have a way to merge the two containers into a conveyor system to go into storage. We don't have that yet. Let's go see if we can at least get our next milestone completed. If we can, we may then have what we need to do that. Grab some concrete while we're here since it's so slow in processing. I should check my power there too, make sure it's being fed in well, but let's see what we can do here. 47. So we know we've got enough rods and plates in storage, and I'm sure we have enough wires, so I'll go and pick all that up. I've collected all the resources from the different mining sites. There we have what we need. Punch launch. The ship will take off. Let's see what we have now for construction. Production, power, logistics. Logistics. We've got a conveyor lift and a merger and a splitter. So that's just what we needed. I think that's about it. Yep. So let's also set up a bar for that. Scroll this forward, Alt, and scroll forward to number 3. And I oftentimes find I'm using the power pole and the power line as well as the regular conveyor belt when I'm doing conveyors. So I'm going to put them all on one hotbar. Go up and see what that gives us at the power plant. Okay, so we're going to want a merge next. So if I press 5, is it? Yeah, there's my merge. You'll see that it has 3 ports that have the orange input arrows and 1 port that has the green output arrows. And I want them to output this way. And I think that that's center right there. And I'll push Control, move it forward till it turns blue. I'm going to switch to my conveyor belt. I'm also, if you look in the center there of my screen where it says build mode default, it will kind of go at whatever angle it needs to complete the merge or to complete the conveyor system. What I'm going to do is tap R and it's going to change to straight, which means that it will follow always 90-degree turns. So we'll get a more uniform layout of the conveyor belts with that turned on. So there we have that. We're going to want this to feed into, again, a storage container. So I'm going to Alt and scroll back 2 clicks, press 7, and we'll rotate this the right way. Put it up against as close to that merge as we can. Press 3. And we now have our system feeding into the biomass burners. They don't have any power yet, so they're not producing any biomass. Before I go further, I want to lay down some more flooring. Eventually, we're going to extend up this far. I need a little room to stand on. Now, the pattern we're going to use is coming out of that container into a splitter. So it's going to take the components, whatever's coming across that conveyor, and it's going to split it in several directions. So that is my merge. This is my splitter. If you see, it's got 1 orange intake and then 3 green or blue outputs. So we'll put that up against that container as close as we can. Put the conveyor in there. And right here on this side of it, well, we'll put the biomass burners up first. We're going to put 1. So we're going to press Q. Get the power biomass burner, rotate it so that the intake is on the back side, which faces that splitter, and set it right there. That's as close as we can get. It is. We're going to come on this side, 2 clicks of the mouse wheel, whoops, to rotate it the other way. Hold down the control key, and I think, there we go, I was standing in the way. I was too close. There. Free for the conveyor. And then what we're going to do is put in power poles. I'm going to press 1, And if I go right up against the conveyor splitter, it won't build there, or will, but it'll clip. I'm going to pull it out to where it won't clip. Right there, right there. Okay. This is going to be our pattern the whole way. We're on all of these splitters, we're going to put 2 poles. For this first one with this storage container, I have to put them in a little bit different place than I wanted to. This one, there we go. That's where it is, right there. I was probably standing too close. There's those 2, and we're also going to do this. I'm going to press F2. I'm going to connect these up on this end, but that's the only power line I'm going to put in that direction. All the other ones are going to go down the line, so it's going to be like a horseshoe, and they will all be connected to each other. This one here is going to connect to that constructor. This one is going to connect to that constructor. On the outside, we're going to put that down here where the biomass burners are. We're going to put power poles. And power out to every other system will be through these poles that are on the outside. And these will be connected to poles on the inside. This one, let me change that. This one, that's not the case. This here is going to be connected to this biomass burner. This one over here to this biomass burner. Maybe I should do that differently. Let's change that. Take that one off. Let's have this one connect to that biomass burner. We'll just do it that way. That way we can have a connection available to go from here to the outside. And from there, the outside, those we will populate with the next biomass burners. Or once we get the next biomass burners up, there to here, and there to here. All right, there we go. So these will have, this is how the grid will go. We'll extend as far as we need to down that way. This approach, rather than being load balanced, like I mentioned before, with all the conveyor system and such, this is going to be what I think is referred to as a manifold system. So what's going to happen is biomass is going to come through, and it's going to split between these 3. This will get one, that'll get one, and one will come through to the next. So the next set of biomass burners will only get every 3rd piece. So it's going to be slow coming out to these burners that we add down here until this one is full and this one is full, and you'll see biomass that will be stuck right here because it can't get in there. When that happens, 100% of the pieces of biomass will come down this chain, and little by little it's going to fill all of these biomass burners to capacity, and then we will be at full efficiency. We will be producing the full amount of power this system is capable of producing. Now, with a load balance system, if we were to spread it out across a whole bunch of conveyors, we could immediately have it go at the fastest pace to all the burners at once. Yes, but it takes up much more space, and it takes a lot more thinking and trying to figure out how to set everything up to be able to do that well. Sometimes you have to feed product back in through the conveyor system at certain points. So for me, an old guy, this works just fine. So we'll be able to just repeat this pattern on down the line and put in as many of these as we want. In fact, we know that we're going to need at least 60, but probably more power, right? Let's see what this system, see what this system will give us. Well, it's not telling us there. Let's look here at the biomass burner. This will give us 30 watts. This will give us 30. That's 60. That's almost as much as those 3 bio burners down there are giving us. Well, let's put 2 more on here. That should give us 120 and enough to actually continue building out down below. Let me go scroll my mouse, Alt, and scroll my mouse wheel back twice so I can get that hot bar. We will, yeah, this is, that's not what I want. I was about to put a constructor down. What I want is the biomass burner. I should probably, you know what? Let's just add this to my hotbar. We'll put that in position 8. So 8, and we're going to rotate this 2 clicks and hold down Control get it as close to that other biomass burner as we can, and it's lined up. I can tell because of the blue line. Over here and do the same thing. 8, rotate it twice, and it is now lined up. I'll take Alt and rotate twice on the mouse wheel. 6 is my splitter. Let's see. See this orange is the intake. Let's put it on that side. And I'm going to hold control, and now you see it lined up with both of the biomass burners. Let's put a conveyor here. Not sure why that's having trouble. Oh, no plates. Now with enough iron plates, try that again. Press F3. There. Conveyor belt there, and a conveyor belt from that splitter to the next splitter. And we're going to follow that pattern. Oh, and then the power poles. Put this one right there. This one right. Well, I feel like I'm putting them. They're close enough. Yeah, they're about right. Okay, need to keep jumping over those things. Fortunately, I won't be in there very often. This one here. This one here. Take the power lines down here and here. And then we'll take connect that there. We'll just actually so now those two biomass burners are connected, but you notice this thing ain't running. Okay, so what it needs is some fuel for at least one of those biomass burners. Now once this fires up, I'm going to want it to be supporting our facility down there. So I'm going to connect this power pole to one that we're going to put, let's put it out here on this point right here. Of course, if I have enough cable. Oh boy. Crafting table, and we'll make some more cable. That's enough for the moment. Again, just to this pole here up to this point, and then from this point, we'll go to this pole that's right there. So if we take everything out down there, we'll still be okay. Now you can see that constructor is actually firing away already, and so is this one here. So it's being powered from those down below. We're going to feed in leaves here. Let's do it again. Yeah, got them all. Good. And the wood here. And if you look, the logs and the leaves are going into the constructors. Out of the constructors comes the biomass. It goes down through into the storage container, and it's being used up as quickly as it can be put in there. And some is feeding into this burner, and then every third one is feeding into the one on the other side, and then anything extra is passing through. Look here, we've got 8 here now. We probably have about the same in this one, 9. This one, it should be even less, so it's 5, and this might have 4 or 5, yeah. So it's getting there. Right now, our capacity is 30 megawatts total, which is kind of odd to me. Why would that be? Oh, look at that. I missed. Here, here, and here, and here. There we go. Now it's going to say 190. And that's because of those systems down below that are giving us 70 megawatts. So once we take those down, we'll be at the 120 I was talking about.